I wasn't exactly sniffing.
You stuck them up your nose? You do realize that I just found them randomly in a hotel room, right? Okay, March 19th, Abigail Williams denounces Rebecca Nurse as a witch. Now,
A nurse is a witch, yeah.
let's see what that word means.
What, nurse?
No.
Rebecca? Witch?
I don't know what witch means.
Speak up, man. Hey, wow.
Publicly declare to be wrong or evil. So, by her denouncing, that meant that she was saying Rebecca Nurse was a witch. March 21st, Magistrates Hawthorne and Corwin examined Martha Corey. So once again, they were probably interrogating her and looking for the witch's nipple. March 23rd, my sister's birthday.
Ha ha ha.
Salem Marshal Deputy Samuel Brabo.
Where the name? Where the name?
Really, a 4-year-old?
They accused a 4-year-old?
They arrest 4-year-old Dorcas. Good. March 24th, Corwin and Hawthorne examine Rebecca Nurse.
Dude, they're like the...
Really? How exactly are you going to get anything out of a 4-year-old?
They're like the TSA, dude.
March 26th, Hawthorne and Corwin interrogate Dorcas. Or Dorcas. I don't know how to say that name.
Dorcas.
Dorcas. I'm going to say it's Dorcas.
They're like the TSA, man.
Right.
Bastards.
March 28th, Elizabeth Proctor is accused of witchcraft. April 3rd, 1692, Sarah Cloyce, after defending her sister Rebecca Nurse, is accused of witchcraft. April 11th, Hawthorne and Corwin examine Sarah Cloyce and Elizabeth Proctor. On the same day, Elizabeth's husband, John, who protested the examination of his wife, becomes the first man accused of witchcraft and is incarcerated. Which means he was thrown in jail.
Yeah.
Early April, the Proctor's servant and accuser, Mary Warren, admits lying and accuses the other accusing girls of lying. April 13th, Ann Putnam Jr. accuses Giles Corey of witchcraft and alleges that a man who died at Corey's house also haunts her. April 19th, Abigail Hobbs, Bridget Bishop, Giles Corey, and Mary Warren are examined. So that means that they were interrogated and looking for witches' tits.
Thank you, did not know that.
I know you didn't, that's why I'm explaining it. With that hair, I don't know how you know anything.
I woke up, got lazy, just didn't give a damn. I mean, darn.
Give a darn.
Darn.
Mary Warren reverses her statement made in early April and rejoins the accusers.
I look like Reverend Jesse Jackson.
I don't know who Jesse Jackson is.
He's the guy who's all for black people and against white people.
Oh. Anyways.
For my people.
April 22nd, Mary Esty,
You look like you had
another of Rebecca's nurse's sisters who defends her, is examined by Hawthorne and Corwin. Hawthorne and Corwin also examine I'm going to say it's Nehemiah Abbott, William and Deliverance Hobbs, Edward and Sarah Bishop, Mary Black, Sarah Wilds, and Mary English. I wonder if these guys were just trying to see women naked.
Possibility. I just wouldn't want him in my corner at court. Yo, Anna, I would like to see him naked and see if I can find his
Several girls on April 30th accuse former Salem minister George Burroughs of witchcraft. May 2nd.
Oh, dang.
Hawthorne and Corwin examined Sarah Morey, Lyndia Dustin, Susanna Martin, and Dorcas. I'm not going to say that.
What, Dorcas?
No. Dorcas whore.
What? Oh, it does say whore.
May 4th.
Whore.
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 We'll just say it like that. May 4th, 1692, George Burroughs is arrested in Maine. May 7th, 1692, George Burroughs is returned to Salem and placed in jail. He's placed in jail. Corwin and Hawthorne examined Burroughs and Sarah Churchill. Burroughs is moved to a Boston jail.
What are you in for? I got a teat.
Corwin and Hawthorne examined George Jacobs Sr. and his granddaughter Margaret Jacobs. Oh, and Sarah Osborne died in prison on May
Wow.
10th. So how long did it take her to die? This is a terrible thing to be looking up.
Mm.
But when was she put in jail?
And
February 29th.
And ironically, we got a cauldron right behind me.
Yep.
That bends down, and there's Beetlejuice.
So May 10th is when Sarah Osborne died. May 14th, 1692.
William Shakespeare. Sword, the ocean blue.
Increase Mather and Sir William Phipps, the newly elected governor of the colony, arrive in Boston. They bring with them a charter ending in 1684, prohibition of self-governance within the colony.
Mm-hmm.
May 18th, 1692, Mary Eastie is released from prison following protests by her accusers. She is again arrested. Roger Toothaker.
Say that one fast.
Toothaker?
If you go German, it's tooth thicker.
Ah, no. Is also arrested on charges
You
of
got a
witchcraft.
ring-a-ding-ding. Intermission.
Yellow. Hello? We'll be back in just 1 second. You have a slightly different slant of the Salem witch trials for me?
Yes, we're back.
This isn't... what? He was responsible for the Salem witch trials?
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
Alright, hold on 1 second. So you said you can't remember his name and you used to have a tape?
Yeah, I'll have to find the tape and the documents for it, but the gist of the story is that the Salem witch trial was actually a ruse to cover actual witchcraft activity in Salem, that the individuals who were prosecuted and executed were in actuality innocent, and the people who tried them and their accusers were the true witches.
Really?
And yes, and that society or group of people later became known in the history of the world as part of the group known as the Illuminati.
Huh.
And the individual that was telling the story was a soldier in the army who had killed a commanding officer in a fight, and he was scheduled to spend the rest of his life in jail. But because he was a stepson to a family who was part of this group, he was rescued out of the jail and became a significant member of this organization as a footman or a soldier, for lack of things better to do. His particular responsibilities was spent actually shuttling money all over the world to pay off politicians, religious leaders, community leaders from all over the world who were in the pocket of this organization, and it was all run by a coven of witches that were part of the Illuminati group. His story goes on to talk about some of the things that he did and got away with, but he was very adamant that there was significant power that this group had, metaphysical power, and they wielded it for their personal and group gain, financially, for power, influence. And the only reason that he was able to live long enough to tell this story is that he was rescued. But then that's another part of the story. But the point is that everyone thinks that the Salem witch trial was just a case of religious fanaticism and taking advantage of the hype and the attitude that people could be worked up into a frenzy and do things. But in reality, it was organized, planned, and executed by the people who were indeed the witches in the community. So
that's
an aspect of the Salem witch trials that no one knows about. And if I can find the documentation, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, that would actually be kind of cool, because honestly, I've never heard that before.
Yeah. I learned about this back in the early 90s, and I'll have to look through some boxes, but I believe I still have the tape of this fellow's interview. And he names names, and he doesn't pull any punches when he talks about his experience with it.
Yeah.
And his attitude is that there are strange things that are happening, and many things we take for granted as just politics as usual, or the way business is dealt with. It's not. Deliver checks to world famous religious leaders. He delivered checks to Washington, and there was payments that were made, and it was his job to courier. He was the courier for this group to make sure that all these people were paid off. And they met once a year to plan their activities and examine how the year had gone. And their meeting place always took place in a different city, somewhere in the world. And individuals from all over the world, from all walks of life, of great power and influence, were in attendance. So there you go. Put that in your butt.
All right. Well, that was cool. Thank you for sharing that with me.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. Alright, so for anyone that didn't hear that,
To explain.
basically what he was saying is that he was saying that the Salem witch trials was actually a cover-up. They're basing a show like this. That's why I was like, what the heck? They came out with a new show called Salem.
That's a good show.
And that's basically what he was saying, is that the people who were accusing were the ones who were actually committing the witchcraft. And he said that was the beginning of the Illuminati. And so, yeah, we're reaching that point in time where I'm going to have to stop for a second, get everything reloaded, and then we'll talk more about this Illuminati thing when we get back on the show. But yeah, just stay tuned. I'll be back in a second. Hopefully we're going to have the paid version up pretty soon. But yeah, we will be back in just a second.